I'm Marybe McMillan with the North Carolina AFL-CIO. We are proud to be partners with the NAACP for the first stop of this 3-stop Moral Monday Labor Day tour. Because if ever a Monday needed a moral makeover, it's Labor Day. Because too many people in this country are underpaid and undervalued. And what makes it so wrong, what makes it immoral, is it's no accident that workers are struggling. Policymakers in Raleigh and in Washington have passed laws that have driven down wages, weakened workers' rights, and gutted our safety net. Their actions have created inequality. It didn't just happen, and it doesn't have to be this way. There's a simple fix to inequality, and it's not rocket science. Pay workers a living wage. The majority of Americans agree with that, but the Art Pope-funded fearmongers say no, we can't afford to pay workers more. Tom Tillis says the minimum wage is a dangerous idea. Well, let me tell you what's dangerous. Bankrupting the many to line the pockets of the few. That's a dangerous idea. Working folks can't even eat, yet corporate profits are the highest they have been in years.
Tell it, yeah.
The question we should be asking is not how much it will cost to pay workers more, it is how much it will cost if we don't. Right?
That's right.
Today and throughout this election cycle, we're going to quit letting corporate America control the narrative.
That's right, that's right.
Instead of talking about taxes, deficits, and so-called entitlements, we're going to talk about wages, and we are going to talk about unions.
That's right.
Unions build the middle class. That's why this past weekend, dozens of congregations around the state talked about unions as part of our first annual Labor Sabbath. And brothers and sisters, if clergy are willing to preach about unions in the most anti-union state in the country, then you know a new day is dawning. A new day. Today, we make it clear, the labor movement is not dead. It is being revitalized, reshaped, reborn, and it is being reborn here in the South, the land of low wages and right to work for less. Our right-wing politicians are in for a rude awakening because you can only hold people down so long before they rise up. And workers in the South are rising up. From Moral Mondays to McDonald's to Mount Air Farms, workers, people of faith and community leaders are joining together to say enough. It's time to say goodbye to the politics of divide and conquer, because we have a new game plan, and it's called Unite and Triumph. We know the power of our solidarity. We know that if we organize workers around a message of hope, not fear, we'll create not just a new South, but a new labor movement. A movement not limited by the walls of the workplace. A movement for all working people.
That's right.
Whether you work in a factory or a farm, a Walmart or a McDonald's, an office or a university, this is the movement for you. This is the movement that will challenge inequality and finally bring fairness to the nation. That is the movement we are building in North Carolina. We are strengthening this state. We are registering voters. We are turning out the vote. We're doing a moral march to the polls, and we will keep on marching. We will not rest. We will not be quiet, and we will not stop until there are good jobs and living wages for all workers. Forward together.
Not one step back.
Forward together.
Not one step back.
In North Carolina, let it be clear, we are not together for just 1 year. We've been at this Monday portion for over 7 years, but we've been together a long time. John Boy and MB have been out there fighting a long time. When I first ran for president of NAACP in 2005, my first speech was at Fuller Memorial talking about if I got elected, we were going to build the unity between labor and civil rights. The HKLJ movement, labor has been right in the center. The first point of our 14-point agenda has to do with poverty and living wages. And the first game changer of our 5-point game changer says we must have a commitment to economic sustainability, addressing poverty and labor rights. That is why the NAACP and the Forward Together movement say, and we will continue to say, when we do our analysis, we look at the empirical data, when we look at the best of our Constitution and our moral critique, the McCory, Tillis, and Berger temporary administrations are out of order. They are out of order constitutionally, they are out of order historically, they are out of order morally. And Mr. Tillis, living wages is not a dangerous idea, but your ideas are dangerous. Especially when now, I'm just going to tell it, you want to get a raise and a higher position, and you've been messing up in the position you already have as Speaker. This administration has been anti-worker and anti-working people. And it's not republicanism, it's extremism. This crowd is against workers, they are out of order constitutionally, and they're just wrong. When they stand against living wages and raise the minimum wage, when they deny Medicaid expansion and keep workers from getting health insurance, and stand on the side of those who want to deny workers coverage when they have pre-existing conditions, when Mr. Tillis would not even come in his office and meet with a young lady who has cervical cancer and 3 children who sat in his office, wouldn't come meet with her, instead let the cops arrest her. And she would have medical insurance if we had accepted Medicaid expansion. That's against workers, it's out of order constitutionally, and it's just wrong. When they cut public education and fire teachers and teach assistants, when they try to take money from public schools where most workers' children have to go because they can't even with a voucher afford private schools, when they lie about unemployment claims and do not accurately portray how many people have left and stopped looking for jobs, according to the Tax and Policy Center and the Justice Center, they are against workers, out of order constitution, and just wrong. When they attack labor unions and prevent even firemen and policemen and women from collective bargaining, and they make decisions in their budgets not to raise their salaries, they're just wrong. And when they won't even allow time, same-day registration, they cut early voting, which is designed to help workers who may be working all kinds of awkward jobs and hours to participate in our democracy. I'm telling you, we've got work to do. I'm going to stop there, Marybe. I was going to go down to 36 things, but we got to go. But we getting on the road, and in the South, when you mess around and get all of us hooked up together, I'm telling you the truth, something's happening here. But I want you to know finally, since it is Monday and I just preached Sunday, there's a little Holy Ghost residue still on. That not only are they wrong constitutionally and morally, they love to pledge allegiance and say, one nation under God. They love to put their hand on the Bible and swear themselves. I just wish they would read it. Because Leviticus 19 says, you shall not oppress your neighbor, or you should pay your servant the wages they deserve, and you should pay them when they get deserved. James 5 says, behold, the wages of the laborers, you mowed your field, you have kept back by fraud, and what you have done is crying out against you, and it has reached the ears of God. Jeremiah says, woe unto him who builds his house on unrighteousness and his upper rooms by injustice, who makes his neighbor serve him for nothing and does not give him his wages. I'm telling you, it's wrong constitutionally. It's wrong historically. It's wrong economically. And it's wrong morally. And we have been sent here in this time in history to correct the wrong. And when we do it in the South, it'll transform America.